How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay.
Everybody told me Jay was corny and whack. Everybody told me not to f with him. And I did it, and look what happened.
It's a conspiracy against me, you know, because in the absence of the truth, bullshit will prevail. So as long as nobody out there spitting real, you know, you can come up with anything.
Dame Dash is at it again. This time he's throwing serious shade at Jay-Z and his old mentor, Lyor Cohen, claiming they plotted together to bring down none other than DMX. Now fans are dragging Jay, calling him out for being fake, acting like he's all about uplifting black artists, while secretly pulling shady moves behind the scenes. Dame says Jay's history speaks for itself. He's made a habit of stepping on his own people just to get ahead. And now Dame is pulling receipts, claiming Jay and Lyor didn't just block DMX's path. They allegedly used him, then tossed him aside when he wasn't useful anymore. And get this, DMX saw it coming. He even spoke out about it. But nobody was paying attention until it was too late.
The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in.
Now everyone knows Dame Dash has been calling out Jay-Z for years, but many folks just wrote it off as jealousy or obsession. But Dame says it's way deeper than personal beef. According to him, it's about a system, and Jay's choice to side with the very people exploiting the culture they came from. Dame's been speaking on this for years, but media outlets rarely put the spotlight on the real story. He says the biggest issue isn't just Jay-Z himself. It's the kind of industry gatekeepers Jay decided to roll with. People like Lyor Cohen, major execs who cash in on black culture but turn around and feed stereotypes that make the community look violent and toxic. Dame's out here trying to expose what's really going on behind the curtain, and this time, people are starting to listen. DMX was one of the first to clock what was really going on, and he wasn't scared to call it out. Let's break it down. When Jay-Z took over as president of Def Jam in 2004, replacing Lyor Cohen, he didn't just take the throne, he snatched full control of Roc-A-Fella's catalog and quietly pushed Dame and Biggs out the picture. But for Dame, the real heartbreak wasn't losing the label, it was watching Jay turn on his own people and let Lyor pull the strings behind the scenes like a puppet master. One artist Dame felt Jay completely betrayed, DMX. Now Jay has never admitted to any of this. He brushed it all off like it was just DMX being too competitive. After DMX passed, Jay went on LeBron James's show claiming they had no beef and that X just had that fiery spirit. He loved to compete, that's all.
It was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big brother.
But DMX told a whole different story. According to X, Jay was the one obsessed with competition. When Jay became the boss at Def Jam, DMX was already a certified legend. 5 #1 hits, 1 album under his belt, and a loyal fan base. But things started changing real fast. DMX said once Jay stepped into that role, he suddenly started blocking moves. Why? Because Jay had originally planned to retire, but changed his mind and allegedly wanted DMX out the way before staging his grand comeback. DMX didn't hold back. He even brought it up on The Breakfast Club, saying Jay was making things hard for him on purpose. Sounds like more than just a friendly rivalry, but there's more to why DMX didn't trust Jay-Z, and it wasn't just personal.
No? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay.
A lot of it had to do with the powerful industry players Jay chose to align himself with. DMX had always been outspoken about shady execs like Lyor Cohen, and he felt they held way too much control over black artists, using them for profit while pulling strings behind closed doors.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry.
Meanwhile, Jay-Z, he played the industry game from the very start, staying close to the power and climbing fast. And when it came to Lyor, Jay didn't just work with him. He called him his mentor. In Jay's own words from his book Decoded, he quoted Cohen saying, "Lyor Cohen, who I consider my mentor, once told me something that he was told by a rabbi about the 8 degrees of giving in Judaism. The highest level of giving, the 8th, is giving in a way that makes the receiver self-sufficient." Now, knowing the shady stuff people say Jay and Lyor were involved in to build their empires, that quote hits different. Talking about selflessness while allegedly cutting off artists who made them millions. The irony is unreal. So who is Lyor Cohen and why does he matter so much in this story? According to Public Info, he was born in NYC to Israeli immigrant parents and has been calling major shots in the hip-hop game for over 3 decades. He started off managing rappers at Rush Productions, rose up through the ranks at Def Jam, eventually ran Warner Music Group, and later launched his own label, 300 Entertainment, in 2012. He's always been in the background, but always in control, and that's exactly why DMX wasn't feeling the energy. He didn't trust the suits who were making money off the culture without really being part of it. More recently, Lyor Cohen landed a major position as YouTube's global head of music. But this move raised even more eyebrows, especially among those who believe there's a deeper game being played. There's been a long-running theory floating around that Lyor might be tied to intelligence agencies, using his industry power and deep connections to push specific messages through hip-hop. Sounds wild? Maybe. But the pieces start adding up. First off, Lyor's been caught switching up his story more than once, especially when it comes to his background. On Vlad TV in October 2023, when asked about his mom, he initially said she was just a housewife. Cool. But later in the same exact interview, he let it slip that she actually worked for the Israeli government and even helped him land a job at the National Bank of Israel. That's a huge detail to forget, right? And that's not even the half of it. Lyor's been tangled in controversy for years, and this is why Dame Dash has called him a straight-up culture vulture. Need proof? Just watch his Breakfast Club interview. He brought up DMX and said he was heartbroken over X's struggles with addiction, trying to sound compassionate. But the second Charlemagne pressed him about why he kept signing artists who glorified drug use during an opioid crisis, Lyor gave a cold response. That's just how the business works.
Had a real bad drug problem, DMX.
I'm so sad. DMX, there's 2 people inside of him. And the Earl is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with a fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. You know, I think the opiate problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever faced, and been a part of. And I can't fuck with it. You know, the crack thing was devastating, but at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend. Okay, and I thought that spotlight, head crack, helped, even though it was harsh and really really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash?
Wow, and when Charlemagne brought up Dame Dash and called out the culture vulture label, Lyor got all defensive and said he didn't even know who Dame was.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
Y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of
Come
money.
on, Lyor. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him. I really don't. So,
Seriously? That was straight up disrespect. Dame saw right through it and fired back on Instagram with a clapback that showed he's not letting it slide. Dame's been saying for years that Lyor's been exploiting the culture, and now more people are finally starting to believe he might have been onto something this whole time. Dame Dash wasn't holding anything back when he called out Lyor Cohen on Instagram, writing, "Thanks for this, Lyor Cohen, for proving my point. In true culture vulture form, they make money off of us and then try to erase our true history and act like the real ones never existed. He pays his bills at the expense of us. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, it does." Dame claims that the moment he started dragging Lyor's name out in public, the police started poking around. That move alone had folks raising eyebrows even higher.
Man, I was hearing too much police talk. And that's that. And I didn't feel like being bothered. So leave me the fuck alone and keep my name out your mouth. You no longer have beef with me. So leave me alone.
Adding weight to those long-standing rumors that Lyor might have some kind of secret intel connections. But let's talk about what might have been the most disrespectful moment of all. Lyor's behavior at DMX's funeral. DMX's memorial was held in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021. And guess what? Lyor didn't even bother to show up in person. Instead, he sent in a video. But this wasn't some heartfelt tribute. This message was straight up cold. In the clip, he said no one was surprised that DMX allegedly overdosed and, get this, he actually called X a gremlin who crashed into a wall. He said that at a man's funeral. That's not a tribute, that's a slap in the face. And this is the same guy Jay-Z calls a mentor. It's no wonder DMX wanted nothing to do with that crew. While Jay was out here cozying up to executives, DMX was one of the few who dared to call them out, loud and clear. X always spoke his truth, even if it cost him deals, airplay, or support from the industry. He openly said he got blackballed because he wouldn't follow the rules and turned down those shady dinner invites with top execs. In his song, The Industry, DMX dropped some real gems, breaking down how young artists get used up, tossed aside, and locked into deals they can't escape. And let's not forget, DMX said the devil came to him more than once. He always recognized it, because the offers sounded sweet, but came with strings attached that felt off. He wasn't fooled, and he refused to sell out.
You've had a song on every album, a conversation with God.
Yes.
You've had...
And a prayer.
And a prayer, and I think you've had...
Three conversations with the devil.
Three conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. I said, oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I've put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
Let's bring it back to Dame Dash. He's always catching heat for being stuck in the past or constantly calling out Jay-Z. And yeah, sure, some folks say he sounds repetitive. But according to Dame and a lot of folks in the industry, the real issue runs deeper. The problem isn't that Dame won't let go, it's that everybody else is too scared to speak up. It's like there's this unspoken rule: if you criticize Jay-Z, you instantly get labeled as bitter, jealous, or irrelevant. That's exactly what went down with DMX. When he pulled up to the Breakfast Club and opened up about how Jay allegedly blocked his album, people clowned him. They dismissed him, saying he was just salty, and gave Jay a pass because he's just a better businessman. But now that DMX is gone, suddenly folks are having a change of heart, realizing he might have been telling the truth all along. Now the same people who once shaded him are saying, dang, X was really dropping facts. That's why Dame's message is finally getting more support. Yeah, he can be blunt, and yeah, he holds a grudge, but one thing he ain't is scared. He speaks on what others whisper about in private. and fans are starting to recognize that. One supporter even said, "That's been the running theme with Dame. He's always been the only one bold enough to say what everyone else is too shook to admit." Every time Dame Dash gets asked something about Jay-Z and actually gives an honest answer, the comment section goes wild. People be like, "Why he always talking about Jay?" It's the same tired narrative every time. And Twitter, they go extra hard trying to paint Dame as the bitter one, like he's just clout chasing. But not everyone's buying that story anymore. One person said it best, "I miss DMX. He always kept it 100. Everything he said about these lames in the industry is coming out now like a flood that can't be stopped." Facts. DMX would be roasting half these industry phonies if he were still here. He called it way before the rest of us caught on. Rest in power to the dog. He never held back. But now I want to hear what you think. Is Dame Dash doing too much constantly calling out Jay? Or is he exactly what the game needs? Someone with the guts to tell the truth while everyone else stays silent? Let me know in the comments. Drop your take below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Catch you in the next one.